This is a video response to MrFartboy79. My battery's almost done, so I'm gonna get into it quick. Still playing. This is Mr. Tibbs. They call me Mr. Tibbs by Quincy Jones. Just questions, and I'm going to try and answer them. Are your musical tastes slash collection more mainstream or indie? And is it important? First of all, no, it's not important. Every collection has its own worth, and if you collect commercial music, it's just as viable as indie or obscure music. It's just what you like as a person. So I'm not going to judge people on their collection. I'm not going to go with my collection like, ooh, see what I got. My musical taste is somewhere in between. I like mainstream stuff a lot, but I also like to go into areas that, you know, are kind of dangerous in terms of music, just odd and strange. Got an example here. I can go from this is Kim Wilde's debut album. I mean, most people know Kim Wilde, you know, nothing wrong with it. It's got Kids in America, it's a solid album. I can go from that to this. This is MrFartboy. Minoso Volume 2. I'm not going to open it. It's marble green vinyl. It's a gatefold. But this is just pure noise. Truly noise music that would make people walk away because it's that crazy and that noisy. So I can go from here to here in an instant, and I collect both areas of music, so mainstream music and really obscure music. So I'm right in the middle of that. So question number 2: what will happen with the vinyl community? I think it will grow a little more because I see that right now. I get lots of people who subscribe to me and who I see that I subscribe to. And that will grow a little more, and then it will, you know, stop in terms of growth, and it will probably remain that way for a long time, hopefully for a very long time, because I really enjoyed it. So like I said, it's going to grow a little more, and then it's going to remain like it is right now. Question number 3: whose collection do you admire most? I have to be honest that I do enjoy everyone's collection. Seeing people enjoy records and talk passionately about records is something that, you know, just it's cool. I mean, even people who don't have a large collection, when they show records, I'm like, great. It's the same with people who have huge collections and show records. I just like that. I like watching videos where people show off their collection. But if you want to know whose collection I admire most, it's the collections that sort of are similar to my collection, my taste. I'm not going to say that my collection is similar to the ones I'm going to mention, but Big Star 1000, Derek Vaughan, Dan, even. There's a guy called Collector of Music. He's got a huge collection, and he shows a lot of 80s new wave post-punk stuff that I really am into. Those are the ones that I feel most connected with. And at times when I see Mr. Hall of Fame show his records, I see like, oh, that's something I want to pick up, and that's something I want to pick up. But overall, it's the ones I mentioned. Number 4: pick an album that takes you back in time. It's Electric Cafe by Kraftwerk. Basically, this is my copy now, but it used to belong to my brother. He bought it on one of the family trips we had to a sort of mall type store. they sell a lot of stuff, a lot of things. And my dad, who worked on the market, selling stuff on the market, not the economic market, but just the food market, he had to go there to buy some, you know, stuff, some products to sell, and he brought us along as a whole family, and we were allowed to pick out a record. And this is what my brother bought, and I bought either one or two 12 inches of this same album. Yeah, I still have them. What I basically did with this record that my brother bought, I used to sneak to his room, take it, play it on my turntable, and just love it. But at that time I wasn't like a vinyl collector. I was about, this is 1986, so I would have been about 13 years old, and I mean, I was more interested in playing with my Commodore 64 than buying records. But that has changed a lot. But that's what it takes me back to my you know, family trips to buy things, and we were allowed to pick out a record. Number 5, name an album that you hated first but love now. It's The Affectionate Punch by The Associates. I don't know why I bought this at the time. I think it was recommended by allmusic.com, because that was a site that I visited back in my early collecting days. And I probably either searched for synthy pop stuff and came across Gary Newman, and these guys were mentioned in the same breath, and I thought, wow, that's great. So I saw it, and I picked it up and I played it, and I was like, what the hell is this? This ain't synthy pop. This is a guy who cannot sing. Really, he sings really weird, and it's not synthesizer pop. It's funky rhythms. I don't like it at all. And years later, somehow I read an article that this was getting a CD release, and I was like, I have that, and I pulled it out again and listened to it, and it blew me away. It's a great post-punk album. Second time I listened to it, when it blew me away, was in the same period that Franz Ferdinand were up and coming with their post-punk sound. So I understood it. It just clicked with me, and it's still my favorite album by The Associates. Billy McKenzie's voice, I like it now a lot. You know, I didn't like it back then, but I love it now. So this is an album that has taken me years to actually like, and I love it now. So there you go. Name a band or performer you dislike but can't deny their importance to music. I'm going to go with Dan's answer is Elvis. It has nothing to do with the fact that he didn't write his own material. I could care less if people write their own material, if the music's good, if it, you know, is something I like it. But in this case, it's just Elvis, and with it the whole early rockabilly kind of thing. I don't like that. That's a sound I just don't like. And Elvis is the guy who was most important in that genre. He brought rock and roll to white audiences, and it blew up and is what it is now. So he is very important to the music history, but I just don't really like him. And in the same breath, I can mention Janis Joplin. I don't like her voice at all. Musically, it's okay, but you know, I don't like her as vocally, and it really, you know, makes my hair stand up. But she was really, really important for the liberation and of women in rock, I guess. So yeah, it's Elvis and Janis Joplin that I mention here. 7. The biggest misconception about vinyl. At work, where I work, the misconception is that it's a new little phase and it'll die out soon, and there's no more vinyl to be had. I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I know we all don't believe that. Vinyl will be around for a long, long time. If record players and if there's no more record players to be had, then it ends. But as long as there are people who collect vinyl, there's going to be record players and there's going to be vinyl. And the last question: show a record you've never found a reason for showing. And I hope you can see it, because it's silver print on a blue background. This is Doug Box, Country Blues. It's not country, it's not blues, but it's called Country Blues. Doug Box is an amazing folk artist from the late 20s. This is recordings from 1927 to 1929, and it's released on Revenant Records. He's an amazing, amazing artist. This is a better picture of him. He did songs called Sugar Baby, Pretty Polly, the rest, to be quite honest, I don't, if I mention those names, they might not be familiar, but he's an amazing, amazing artist. Played music on his banjo, with little, if no, extra musical instruments around him, so no drums really, no bass. I think there's one or two tracks on this double, on these albums that have accompanying musical instruments. I just want to show a bit clear vinyl. But it's a real tragic story. The guy was doing these records on 78s, and this is the late 20s, so you have the Depression era coming, the Wall Street crash. This guy made music, made records, and I think he was able to support him and his family. But then the crash came, and his wife basically asked him, or demanded from him, to get a real job, to get real money, because they needed money, they needed nourishment, they needed food. So this is in the early 30s. He went to work in the coal mines, and that, I don't know if he worked there for 30 years, but 30 years he had not picked up a banjo. And after his wife died, this is the early 60s, he discovered a whole scene of folk musicians, including Bob Dylan and Pete Seeger, who were influenced by artists like this. And he picked up his banjo again, and he performed again. I don't know if he recorded again, but at least he performed again. And it's amazing. I love his voice. I love the banjo sound. I like that more than electric guitar or acoustic guitar. I prefer the banjo sound. It's just an amazing sound. And these are just awesome tracks. Yeah, so this is a record I've never had shown, basically because I cannot show this in a folk update, because I don't have a lot of folk records. This is it, basically. And I've never seen this in another update, so I might, spark some interest here and get people to like Doc Box. I'll put in the description thing, like, you have to put something in there for YouTube to recognize and link videos to it. I'll put his name in there, and hopefully YouTube will put some videos on this side, I think. And just click on it if there are videos. If not, then look for his stuff. Great stuff. Great thread. And this is it. This is what I have to answer. So thank you, MrFartboy79, for these questions, and I hope you enjoyed the answers. Bye.